Asempa FM 94.7. All talk, all day.
Your election headquarters, Kokromoti Power, elections 2020, be 50 days from Ene Yeko Akwakotoaba. And as part of your programs to bring you comprehensive coverage of the 2020 elections, no, Yasha say at the interviews Bibrinane de Abremo. And the Nyamia Adom Yenya, the leader of the largest opposition party in our country, the NDC, or a former president of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Ewaha, Yene Babidi Enkomo. Mini your Saibons to Enyamenkwana Mewaha. Mini Chief Jerry Force, and Oko Adom 106.3 FM, or no any host of Jaso and Sem. Sanso and Yenaya Penny, or Mine Hene Kwabana Sante, Oko Adom TV, on any host of Bidrim. Yemi and San and the Yabum, His Excellency, Babidi Enkomo. And we are hoping, sir, for the next 1 hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours, no, we'll bring you everything you want to know about the NDC, the campaign generally, policies for the Ghanaian people. So nyame wana dom na omutimi eba abayemo. Nti yebedi People's Manifesto ne ho enkomo na yahwe the legacy of the man, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Yewiya nse mise bia ewo ho a ewo si yebusa no. Yebebusa na fi age anu yie ewo ne ho. Your Excellency, welcome. Bibi aboko there.
Obi, bibi. Send your man here now, oh yeah, some little I will teach you man. Classic from the boy.
Yes. Yeah, why
Waba is coming far a long way. It's come a long way.
Yes, I appreciate. But to start with, at the end of the more start business open back to the president. Why?
Well, it's in Ghana for so. It's a choice, a democratic choice that our people make. Now, so we had a program and they were consolidating the economy. I think we had got a second term, would have accelerated the growth of the economy. Okay, I said 2016, the World Bank, IMF, everybody predicted that Ghana's economy was going to grow by 8.5%. And it was nothing to do with the new government hereby. It was the plans and programs we had laid. Now, 2 new oil fields, the production was coming in. We're going to use that accelerating infrastructure development, economic acceleration. The opportunities are that they have squandered on, just consumption. Ocean real sector now, the investment has gone down completely, barely 3%. We're hitting about 5% on capital development. Now, if you don't invest in capital development, then you're going nowhere. And we believe, sir, your programs now near implemented. It's important for us to continue so that we can do the fiscal consolidation again here to take us to the next level.
Well, but to do a follow-up quick one of the issues that this administration is with you tout to say, oh, infrastructure, development, and all those things. But they've always tagged you value for money, value for money, value for money. That has been the tag. A core yard talk Ghana for the dream. Again, you were tagged with corruptible acts, not your person, but your administration. Emma, you can say, oh, as supervisor such an act there, clearly you cannot win yourself from.
What did you tell me? 1 more year engineers in the Ministry of Roads they work on these same roads. Are the same engineers who are there working with the same government. Who has been arrested or investigated for inflated projects? Inflated projects are all kind of, if there really was an inflation, show us where the inflation was. It's based on very simplistic thinking. Kaswa interchanger. Also, why is it this expensive? He was comparing interchanges with different scopes of works. It is a layman about engineering, and then you decide that I just look at this and say that this one is more expensive. Kaswa interchange, 3 bridges together. Then there were 2 secondary schools, brand new secondary schools, or polyclinic, 21 kilometers of roads in Ga East District. 20 communities got clean drinking water. It is a bridge, don't say, oh, this bridge is too expensive. Then there's something wrong with you. What I say? Kwabin Nkrumah interchange. Now say, oh, so me compare why is this one more expensive? It is just because they don't understand, engineering. They don't understand that things have to do with scope of work. We see one hospital here. You see hospital for 26 million. But America said it was too expensive. Recently, President Akufo-Addo cut a sword for a new hospital in Shama for 32 million euro. Maybe I can say it's inflated. I can't say it's inflated because the minimum scope of works that hospital entails. It was political propaganda just to get anger at me. Say I inflate the contracts, take the extra money and put in my pocket. So 32 million euro contract, no. President Akufo-Addo the Tunibotowana, the new hospital. This is just a basic comparison because they are both hospitals. And so that propaganda, no, me expect some media for you would interrogate it and see that a lot of it is just political propaganda to try and defame a person. We did a lot of infrastructure works. If they almost believe say there's an inflation, investigate and find out. You can prosecute people for it. And so the same engineers were doing a kilometer of asphalt for $1.2 million. Yes. And they are doing it for $1.6 million. Is it inflated? Into these things, you must consider them. So, okay, so you're crying, and you're doing a road here. This road might be more expensive, even though they're the same kilometers, 10 kilometers. Yeah. And so, where the culverts you have to build because of the rivers that cross the road will be more than if you are building a kilometer of road, say in northern Ghana, because the road is flat, the land is flat, and there are fewer streams crossing. A kilometer of road there will be less expensive than a kilometer of road, say in western region. Because every 1 kilometer you go, there's a stream passing under the road. It makes me feel that they don't have that kind of reasoning to be able to appreciate what goes into social and economic infrastructure.
The Pokwasi interchange, for example,
yeah.
The loan facility under your administration, somewhere in the regions of 86 million, a 3-tier interchange. Of course, this government claims or more are renegotiating a 4th tier.
It depends on what changes you make to the engineering.
Absolutely.
And no, you can have the omnibus funding.
Yes.
But with changing engineering now, you can shorten some things, add another tier, and make a change within the scope of the same facility.
But if you compare the Pokwasi interchange to say cycle, that's a cycle in the regions of around 260 million. Then 86 million. For a layman,
until Americans say they are being simplistic in their analysis because you must look at scope of works and
okay.
What I say?
Okay.
Second interchange was the longest bridge overpass in West Africa. The longest bridge is in Nigeria. The longest overpass is here in Ghana. A Pejafi NS chemist, a Kopim almost New Times Corporation junction. What I say? And apart from that, drainage works near Nyomina Ekaho. So you must look at the scope of works, and you want to be just far wide doing can say, oh, sir, interchange, a year 86 million, we year this amount. So because of that, it means somebody has inflated the contract. To whose benefit? And the engineers or designer, call them and ask them, why is this more expensive than this? And let them explain to you.
Okay.
And if somebody has inflated, prosecute them. 4 years, who has been prosecuted for any inflated contract?
CJ, on this, no will be a fact.
Yes, but many are penny on my why we want to come back after 3.5 years in opposition. What can I say? What went wrong in your administration? What me up in pointing Yama? Rectify.
Oh, there are some things we did very well, and it will be why we did very well. We moved this country to the next level. We share from 2008 to 2016, we grew Ghana's economy from $28 billion to $55 billion by the time we were leaving office. That was a quantum jump in the size of GDP. There are many things we did. Infrastructure. Make what I pray. Every community I go to is thanks. When I my Kenya, when I my hospital, when I my school, when I say, we feel so your police station, I see your jack and rim. Your school and now we see your jack and rim. You understand? And so we get a lot of gratitude for the work we did, in terms of improving people's lives. But you always sit in hindsight and say that, look, Anka, there are some things that we could have done better.
Yes.
And the same mistakes in our buying here is to do with youth employment. We're not taking it very seriously. Now, a taking time bomb by Eba. Oko village, there are a lot of young people. We have SHS, we have there, and we have some better few. So I want to know to you, and only you and him. And my dream is our next we'll do the hospitals and things, but I was here call how to find employment for these young people. And then she said, Papa, we have to look at. So here a mind to say Germany near the other. They are moving them as our countries and they are skilled manpower. And yet just the long book learning. What I say? Most people are middle level technicians, plumbers, welders near there. I always give this example. Say Abraham Ye president, when we were working on the new oil fields, now you believe some subsea pipelines. And I'll say, or pay 300 welders. Maybe because welders, apprentice for almost welding. I mean, so 300 welders, almost they must have the American certificate of welding. That's the first time I might say there were some certificates in terms of proficiency in welding. And you say that certificate is awarded only at the International Maritime University. And in here 300, they tested so many people, in here 60 pay. And eventually, Okofa be free Cote d'Ivoire and or be free Italy to complete that particular project. And about my dream say, our economy is changing. I feel it's not just the book long, any long grammar, PhD near there. We need people with skills, plumbing near there. The on the oil rig, they have plumbers, they have electricians and others, but proficiency, is of a certain level. Until we need to shift our attention, say, more skills training. Your technical university called vocational. You bet me the young people are almost training in vocational and technical, like a kind of modular system near the Omaba campus, and come and train them, over that short vacation period in some skills. Somewhere in here, they go back, do some practicals. The university is open, Wapombia, near the Omaba, to finish the program. At the end of it, we give them a certificate. The way the economy is going, you hear crane operators, you hear bulldozer operators, you hear excavator operators, you hear people with that kind of skill. And so, your towns need to be only young people now, we have free SHS, but only skill be a obey me now public service and so and can be a obey or as a clerk or something. And also it's oversubscribed. And we need to make a shift. And on hindsight, I realize that infrastructure is not the only thing. Of course, it improves people's lives because you have better health care if you build a hospital. Children are able to go to school if you build a school. But we need to do that pivot. Nehu said we must upscale the skills of our young people. And then the second thing is, also you're taking advantage of our young entrepreneurs. In the first term, we tried to do it with a 10 million Ghana cedi facility under the Youth Enterprise Support Initiative. On hindsight, I could have expanded that program more rapidly because some of those are assisted under that program. They've managed to go on and establish Omo businesses and they've employed people. There's a girl, University of Science and Technology, on a proposal on what she wanted to do. Also a person aquaculture. Into your fundeno, your talk cages, and everything. And she went and set it up. And in a short time, she was earning far more money than on the colleagues at APFE Tech. And you should see her, or cages now, or 90 cages now, so use a canoe, come or have a a fish near there. And she was applying it directly to restaurants in Accra near, so we can take advantage of the entrepreneurial spirit. We share digital and service area. There are millions of jobs that we can do there. And say, what do I think? Say, I think, say, our attention on youth entrepreneurship, providing employment for young people, is what I think we could have done better under my administration. We had artificial job creation, youth employment. Over 2 years, you go and sweep or you go and direct traffic, you do something. After 2 years, now you come out, you still don't have a sustainable job. It's the same with NAPCO. NAPCO have 80,000 graduates. They do all kinds of things. At the end of the NAPCO, you can still find sustainable jobs for them. Into those artificial job creation, a marking time while you try and open things up for them. But they creating sustainable jobs. And they say we must believe in the entrepreneurial spirit of our young people. And that is going to be my focus in any new administration.
We'll come into those details. Meaning, say, the Brina or People's Manifesto. So when we get to the new policies, our person would the EBA would interrogate and no. Me person ye share see free hana ye share. For some time now, Waba Pro ewo Ghana. You were active in the 2008 campaign as running mate to the then flag bearer of your party, John Evans Atamels. 2012, you were the leader of your party, the flag bearer. 2016, oh yeah, campaign. How different is 2020 campaign from all those campaigns?
So 2008, 2012, and 2016.
Yeah.
I'll compare 2016 and now.
Okay.
Yeah, well, regions are friend swing regions. And Central region is one of them.
Yeah.
Western region is another. Bronga Hafu is also a swing, and a Greater Accra.
Yeah.
The traditional political parties leading NDC and MPP have our strongholds basically. And you'll always expect, say, Ashanti and Eastern, NPP is likely to win. Now, okay, say Volta, Northern, NDC is expected to win. But then the other regions, they swing depending on what happens at a particular time. Until 2016 compared to now, which means that swing is inclining in our favor.
Okay.
Because
swing regions no Piaba in
I can see say Piaba, but also say the regions have been dismembered.
Yeah.
There are some places we always have been strong. The Western regions, Western North. We've always been strong in Western North. Then Bronga Hafwa, we've always been strong in Bono East.
Oh, okay. The Techiman area, no?
Techiman going towards Kwame Danso, that area, we've always been strong there. And the analysis show that we have a swing coming towards us because ABM people said they are strong even. We can see that there's a certain positive shift towards us. Only him for no kasa. Only a Mebunu Kasa, you interact with them and so on and so forth. And there are a lot of policies that MPP have got them very wrong. Osha Galam say they've handled it very disastrously. And that can cost them, especially in the gold mining areas. A lot of work on that sector. Ubisa Tony Obinga, he was head of Minerals Commission. We had a program for re-engineering the whole small-scale mining area because in our time, Professor Mills Abreso, we also had soldiers running after these young boys, but it would not lead to anything positive. That was not the way to do it. You cannot use force of arms to stop this thing. So you need to bring in some incentive, bring better supervision into the sector. And we did a whole program. And Osha, President Akufo-Addo was taking the presidency on it. Say if he fails, to check this Galamsey menace, he's prepared to quit the presidency. So he should resign now because he has failed miserably when it comes to
underscore.
The rivers are dirtier. Let me come at this point. The rivers are dirtier today than they were in 2016.
That's what I'm coming to.
There's more devastation in forests. Go to the forest and see. Osha Obeka say quiet. Just go Ubehu say there is
exactly my point.
Some NPP activists doing Galamsey.
And you raise a very important issue.
Yeah.
Your administration, in fighting Galamsey. This administration, to the extent that the president himself said that the presidency is online. We say, yay, and you're feeling more than rather more policies because it's becoming something around all of us here next. If you got happy and say, by the next president, your issues and your programs and your policies on Galamsey will be fantastic on paper. Implementation, supervisor, effective implementation is going to be a challenge. That has been the bane of this country.
But that's because no media for you are not holding government accountable. In the Galamsey,
we know
all they did was to remove ordinary Ghanaians and others more small-scale concessions and give those same concessions to their party people. Until DCEs, party chairmen, galamsey no.
That's a serious allegation. No?
It's true. Investigate it. It's your job. Go investigate it.
No, we should not even run away from that fact.
No,
it's very, very,
on the ground.
It's very true that both political parties, when they are in power, in as much as John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency, reasonable number of NDC people patronize.
Yes. Government officials have never been involved in this way in small scale galamsey in our time as compared to now. Compared to now, party executives, national executives, and MPP who need the power of galamsey.
Of course, by virtue of videos and all those. Let's not also pretend here. Fact is that the galamsey.
The point I'm making is Akufo-Addo has failed when it comes to the fight against galamsey. Into Okasa in the presidency too on the line, he probably shouldn't even be running for office. He should be resigning now.
On the galamsey.
Of course. But I was using it just as an example. Say some of those things ever back to hunt them. Because they've not been fair and just when it comes to the issue of small scale mining.
Okay.
And a lot of people are according to football, and passing out. And the ordinary people are almost small scale concessions. They had the excavators, they were also doing small. Also, let everybody stop. Also, and then you let them stop. You took the excavators and give to your party people to go and do the same. It's not fair.
Your Excellency, on the galamsey bit,
but I know I just brought it in.
Yeah, I know. But finally, what are you to do differently if you are giving
your manifesto more? There's a whole section there
on the
maybe
when we get to the people's manifesto, we'll talk about it. I remember on the region thing, or the swing regions. And I believe
things are different. I just gave galamsey as an example. Osha cocoa sector, the same thing. Okosha cocoa nibia. Almost cocoa na awu because swelling shoot disease, omunya fertilizer and fanye cocoa no. Pempeso ayedi cocoa sector no drew It was inviting to go into cocoa. Meaning mendam for cratch for me They went and got land and planted cocoa, and today they've been harvesting quite good AE, but they can afford to buy fertilizer. Our rural areas, the farmers cannot afford to buy the fertilizer. Fertilizer knows one for Adriano and so send Ubenya cocoa ni bebre, it's media manoni. So we thought about it. Why let them buy subsidized fertilizer? Yamfa fertilizer no more and let them apply it so that we can get more cocoa to send out. In 2016-2017 crop year. You had 967,000 tons of cocoa. Professor Mills Abreso, he hit the 1,067,000 tons of cocoa. Since then, Bisa, what is happening? Barely 700,000 tons. And Cocoa Board is over bloated. They've employed all kinds of political apparatchiki in Cocoa Board. The Cocoa Board is virtually getting broke. And can get 600 million here on because you're African Development Banker. Cocoa Board would have gone broke this year.
But Your Excellency, they've explained there is this viral disease. Oko Western North region alone.
The viral disease started immediately John Mahama left office.
No.
But as soon as I left office, the viral disease.
It's taking a huge way now. We're in session also, I think, about 3 weeks ago. And from Cocoa Board, technocrats now, they tell us close to 300,000 hectares of land all bent. In the Western North, over 300,000 tons of cocoa. And I say they are doing barely 120, 130,000 tons. And then impact on the national total. And there are reasons why.
So what are they doing to fight the virus? What are they doing to fight the disease? You can cut down and replant. We were doing replanting ourselves. We had nurseries all over the place. And we're cutting down all the old cocoa trees and the diseased cocoa trees. And we're replanting. We're also doing it. And yet, they are not the first to do replanting. Near our nurseries, we're giving free seedlings to the farmers. Right now, even the way it's not correct. Offer gangs. And they pay the gang members, I think, 500 or 700 cedis a month. They'll come and cut the trees and they pay the gang members. Then they'll say, we'll come and plant it on this day. Sometimes 6 months, now cocoa for no at the they haven't come to plant. When they even come and plant, normally also they brought their plantain sucklings. And suddenly you do a cocoa no was here in order that it gives a shade. no konyi ya say ye kwedu enye plantain. Na kwedu west region or ye
yes kwedu ne kopi o.
Or you are doing now.
I know
for the idea. What could be kwedu?
I know say you raise issues.
My point is that farmer no on any nefo. That money amuditria gangs no pay to the farmer, no fapa, no mutual enduano, no enduana there.
By your time.
And then pay him a certain stipend, for the period. So that's kind of amuditria gang for no. That's 700 cedis a month. You can pay the farmer for a certain number of months or years until his cocoa starts producing. Until we will adopt a different system. Not the system
with the cutting down and replanting.
With the cutting, yabema ekwenina nkasa afanipa and pay them to cut down the trees and replant, and then we'll use that extra money editorial gangs to give the farmer a stipend for the period that it will take for his cocoa to grow.
In order for us to go according to a certain plan, I mean, say the issues we but just to buttress a point out here, say swing regions air shifted gradually to the NDC.
The other part is Cocoa Roads program almost stopping here.
Cocoa Roads,
yes, near you see $150 million every year. The cocoa scanaba we take $150 million to repair the cocoa roads.
But we'll be manning taking this opportunity. Cocoa roads no. Now money so adi who say emia omundi cocoa juma ana mo edebe bo makwan ana say te say East Legon ana say baby shrunku bi wo ha.
No. It was a cocoa grain.
Because you wouldn't say a ball called you say mo koji cocoa. Sika mo de be cocoa
Asawasi road
cocoa sika na mo koji say mo de be cocoa akwan no na ebi na Asawasi na ebi na East Legon
Asawasi when
Ashanti region
na Ashanti region in cocoa. We said the cocoa growing regions
but Your Excellency, for instance, to say East Legon Atomic
we didn't use cocoa roads money for East Legon and Atomic. We never use cocoa roads money in Greater Accra. When be a year under the Cocoa Roads Rehabilitation Program, it's in the cocoa growing region. Now, cocoa growing region, more urban roads, some more feeder roads, some more highways. We didn't say Suhum, Swedru. We did asphalting in Swedru Township because it's in a cocoa growing region. One can say because it's a town, the cocoa farmers, some of them live in Swedru. What are you saying?
So the focus was the region.
It was the region, the roads in the region. Urban roads, feeder roads, highways. What are you saying? Now Asawasi is in Ashanti. Ashanti is cocoa growing region.
Okay.
Swedru is in Central region. Central region is cocoa growing region. And that was the focus. They just didn't understand the project. One tier sensor, Busa implemented project. Nobody has asked me anything. Nobody has asked any of those who were working on the project anything. The same engineers and I know me almost will be in now you pay $10 million for an audit. Audit, the report, about 260 pages.
Report.
Now, there are reports that have been longer than 260 pages. Publish the summary of what you found, because taxpayers can audit for that audit to be done, so that we know what went wrong. I wouldn't say that everything was perfect, but if you have done an audit, let us know what went wrong, so that in future, yes, our program will know how to improve it.
Okay. But Pacho, finally, on the report bit.
Okay, before we go to the report, Nyamekano said that's one of the things that will help.
Why the swing?
Because Asempa Sutres for Praso Road, very important road. Now contractor Guso Oye Juma then they said stop work. 4 years now, what they contract all the work he did has been eroded.
Asempa Sutres for Praso.
Yes, a very important link. Because so far Asempa Sutra, you come down all the way to Yamransa Junction. And I link it to Trifo Praso. What me fa Hobad Daboase. What me fa Trifo Praso Ekotakwa. And so that's a very important link road. What Jai Jumano, and you go to the road today, it will cost us twice that amount to go back and do that.
Go back and do it.
Oshe Gambia number 2 to Chiremesu Kwine. The first layer of quota eguso, and yes, you munje juma. And now kofaswa a tutu tokro. Until now, if you want to do it again, just a dri quota digina friso. Now sign the gravel here, and then you roll it before you put a quota on it again. The same thing we call Bronga Hafwa. I've gone around the whole country and I've seen all those roads. You're quite be free, through Bodom, Eko Pie Jema Kwanta. We gave it to 2 contractors, you know, they did work on that road. And I say they also put quota on it, first quote. So it's costing the nation more. And instead of letting, what stops you from, say, contractors, no, they should continue working. You can investigate while they are working.
While they work.
Why ask them to stop? I feel, what could you have $10 million for an audit? Yeah, the audit report, Brewer. Also, just a member of office now will be reporting to action.
Okay, and I can maybe say Your Excellency, because I listened to Urabuahin Edu, CEO of Cocoa Board. Now, as a report now already. But if you are interested, you can apply, and the report will be given to you, or you can come to the office. I don't know if it
belongs to the public. Why should we apply? Black Stars probe, and you have more than 260 pages. Yamfa Black Stars probe Amamo. It's in the public interest that the public know what happens. Oma you apply for Black Stars probe and sana yeche on your wall.
That's the 2014 World Cup.
Exactly. And a bulkier document than Cocoa Roads probe. I mean,
okay.
The point is neither here nor there.
You follow
me expecting some more media people. You will press him. Say it's a public
to get
document.
the report.
Yes, me report.
Okay. It is so for 1 million who say the reasons
there
why
are some things that
swingy.
Oko Bono is ne Bono. They promise them say they will do a cashew development authority for them.
Yeah,
they've done that.
Tree crop.
Now mine tree crop. Under the tree crop authority.
I feel better about you are doing tree crop authority. Cashew board and you're free about 2016.
Yes.
Now cashew board is 8 cedis per kilo. And now cover 2 cedis per kilo. The cashew farmers are crying. I'm just giving you the points that you understand? Because a lot of the promises they made, and our promises were too fantastic. One district, one factory. Value chain economics does not support factory per district because the economic value chains go beyond political delineations. And the crop processing zones. And we are mapping up the whole country and comparative advantages in terms of crops. It is Bono East and Bono. Almost every majority of the people are into cashew farming. So you put processing capacity there to be able to purchase their cashew and process it for export. You go somewhere, ginger, rice, cassava. So we're looking at it across the political delineation. It's not restricted to one district, one factory, a populist. One district, one factory, one district, one factory. After we're raising the panel expectations, say, our district or OBC factory. Up until now, also we see 58 factories. A lot of those 58 factories, factories say, what that? Obi factory, I will see. Also, Ghana is a person on Yama Sikakakra. Also, at the end of here, me perimeter fence, mini wall. Now, Ghana is a basic wall. Near the one district, one factory, basic or factory in him.
No, but Mr. President,
tricycle assembly, Tamale.
Yes.
Professor Mills Abreso, and you see tricycle factory. I was asked as vice president to come and commission it, but I didn't have the time, so we never commissioned it. And the one district, one factory, a factory that existed long before Nanado became.
But according to the minister in charge of that sector, trade and industry, apart from the fact that Ubenya Exim Bank facility, there are other incentives. But for you coming under the 1D1F umbrella, for example, machinery will be imported, free duty, tax holidays for 5 years, and
there's already free duty on capital goods. All the machines, Basel, the basic factory is free. It's not because you're under 1D1F. If you bring in, yes, it's existed for a long time. If you bring capital goods to set up a factory, even a hotel, if you're setting up a hotel and you're bringing furnishings and towels and things for the hotel, it comes free of duty.
Since when, sir?
Since long ago. It's been there. It's part of the exemptions for investment, for investors. You can't say it's a free duty. Free duty, if you bring machines to a factory, you don't pay duty. Go and check. It's not 1D1F that introduced that.
So you are saying, sir, one, the idea to have a factory in each district.
It was populist, what you're saying. Until you've created the impression in the minds of Obia, say, Omo district, Ubesi factory. And the idea of a factory is
something huge.
Factory, what you're saying.
Yes.
And so now beekeeping a year now, when you 1D1F, some then you come and say that's the factory. They don't accept that.
But they were
You built a
categorical,
factory.
said they are doing that in collaboration with the private sector. Yes, districts, no, but the private sector will have to
definitely.
show interest. and then
Definitely,
the
I don't
support will
discount that the private sector should be involved. The private sector should be involved. Yempo crop processing zones, and yeah, buying and processing factories. We expect the private sector to participate. Make what Kintampo and say, the MP for Kintampo. In our time, near EDIF, your facility.
come. Yeah.
Or they see cassava processing plants or processing cassava into cassava flour or supply breweries. Omu here 45 tons a day. Otimema over 20 tons. Until say you have more capacity. I'm just giving you an example.
Yeah.
But Oyusu EDIF financing and on the year. Abra Yefia Baimu, there was some top-up credit they should have given to him. They refused to give it to him. Until anyway, he used his own resources and finished it. I'm just giving you examples of, say, the private sector can participate.
Yeah.
And this is an example of the private sector participating. But say one district, one factory. Into districts that factory in your mind, how do you expect
Almost
them
a
to
work
feel?
in progress.
Work in progress.
Yes.
As I say, no, at that hono, na delivery tracker, mumose masi eyi waha. You go and it's cattle and sheep grazing on the land.
Your Excellency, William.
Maybe examples of any.
I get you. I get you.
This $1 million per constituency is being a total flop.
The 1 million per constituency?
Make all constituency mark 4 toilets. Toilets don't put in. And that is their 1 million per constituency project.
Water project.
There may be other projects.
There are no other projects anywhere. And the point even is, those projects are almost the district assemblies used to do them. Now your mad district assemblies, 7.5% of government revenue.
Yes.
And the district assemblies were building their own toilets, building their schools, their clinics, and so on and so forth. Waba, you've reduced district assembly common fund from 7.5 to 5. And as extra Sikano, you are putting it in the development authorities. And then you are coming and saying, I'm building toilets for you under 1 million per constituency. This, is complete Yisakawa. You are taking their own money and recycling it and bringing it back. Leave it to them. They will decide where they want. Maybe any toilet and put their most important thing.
CJ.
Yes.
I think there are issues.
The analysis of value for money on the projects that have been done in the districts in the constituencies under the 1 million per constituency. And then find out if any constituency has even got up to $500,000.
Okay.
After 4 years, $1 million per year. And by now, the value of projects in those constituencies should be $4 million.
Yes.
And the mamua's homework. Go to districts and see the projects under 1 million per constituency and see whether they match up to.
But there was that admission, Mr. President, Your Excellency said, first year was to put in place the setup. In the first year, they couldn't disburse.
The second and third, fourth year.
Yes.
3 years, $3 million.
Who do that check?
Homework.
Who do that
check?
Go and check and see what the value of projects
we will get to your manifesto, but before we get there,
Yeah.
Adebakwa, you're quite worried. Your good self and your party, Akoswaka Wasema, is this electoral commission and you may be omode to Akwema. Mususu say you're as for mine, everything the how Kesiaba. You've been there before. It becomes very worrying knowing how the commission works. Now, when you get any opportunity, you are suggesting or drawing attention that the probability of this commission causing chaos is very high. It's very worrying.
I've been involved in elections in this country since 1996. Abraham Ijna for the first time as a parliamentary candidate and became member of parliament. I've seen how the Electoral Commission operates. I've seen our electoral process evolve over time. I voted in 92. Like I said before, you vote to now you use Sagarwa steel ballot boxes.
Yeah.
And I buy opaque ballot boxes. You develop a system now, do biometric, registration near there. So I've seen our Electoral Commission evolve. And I've seen the Electoral Commission operate over the years. I'm raising the alarm because I can see the warning signs of chaos in the elections. One, because I think we have a problem of competence in the commission. At any time when there have been changes in the commission, it has been one person retiring, somebody coming, or two people retiring, somebody coming. But the commission has always had a certain continuity. What I say?
Yes.
In Tibia, one of the deputy commissioners retire, and then a new one comes and joins. What I say? Or when Afrajan went, Charlotte came. When she came, Sule and the lady were there already. But this one, the president cleared the whole top and brought 3 new people who have never ever run an election before. What I say? So one, there's a problem of competence. Now what they do is when they come to the commission, the tried and tested hands are they transfer all of them out and bring new people. It's become double jeopardy. Now here the actions of the commission from when they took office till now. What you mean say it's completely Omahine, dabe no ate say ya registration nipa 21,000 omudia ira or register. And dabe no ate say we've had duplicate about yes only 7,000 naira not still almost 7,000 no. But I'm saying even one vote is important. What I say? Because our presidential election says 50% plus 1. And that one could make the difference, maybe. But let's put that aside. Voters ID number.
Yes.
So for ID number now, different numerals. Over first number now, it has to do with the region where you are registering. In Tienka's a central region.
Yeah.
Into the first 2 or 3 numbers show that you are in central region. The next number will show the district where you are. The next one will show the constituency or something. Then the next one will show your polling station. Then the final one will show your unique number. Maybe you were the 104th person to register. And the last one will be 104. Now that number is unique to you and your polling station. And the question I ask is, are you doing a unique number no? Ebekwaku PSA Obi in another place has the same number. Up to now, they've not been able to explain that to us properly.
But the reason for the exhibition, so we can identify all of these mistakes and work on them.
Nana Jane Okoye, yes, you go to the district office and go and get a new card. Okoye na Jane a card, your man a new card. So somebody had the same number as you. And the question I'm asking is, how does that happen?
But Your Excellency, IPAC is one platform, avenue, all these issues.
They bastardized IPAC. IPAC has become like an enemy to the commission. One, they don't want to call meetings of IPAC. And all those moribund parties are new and didn't exist anymore. They've gone to revive all of them and bring them onto IPAC so that they can get a majority to push their things through. IPAC is a very important body. Elections near credible because they build a consensus in IPAC. IPAC, before this commission came, always did things by consensus. But now it's by majority. Into Omakosisa, Liberal, Deben Party, all those fly-by-night parties. IPAC.
But it's always been by majority, I recall.
And so they are the majority there. So whatever the commission wants, they brief them beforehand. When they go, they shout everybody down. They pass their thing. They should take ownership for whatever happens. BVR, this new system they brought. We've not tested the machines. You are testing. The exhibition would have been the opportunity to put out the BVRs. Let's put our hands on it.
But piloting in 5,000 polling stations, the BVRs now, as part of the exhibition.
And in many places, people put their thing, they couldn't be identified. Until on that day, when you do the real thing, 33,000 polling stations and 15,000 of the BVRs are not working properly. And then it means we resort to manual verification. And the reason for bringing this new hardware, NSA, you eliminated manual verification.
Yeah, as much as possible.
As much as possible. Until now, on the official one account. But even the ones they piloted, we were not able to identify.
Okay, Your Excellency, legacy, what would you consider to be your legacy?
Oh, my legacy is that I serve the people of Ghana, and my contribution to the growth of Ghana's economy, Ghana's social and economic infrastructure, would be the legacy that I left in my first term. The legacy I want to leave in my next term is that I get this country working, get young people skills to be able to go into the world of work. Our infrastructure is not something I need to talk about. I've received enough, commendation from all the chiefs. Maybe Amakubia, it says thank you for our clinic. It's improved our healthcare. Thank you, and if these are important interventions, if you give people light, you understand. One, children are able to study at night. Two, they're able to do small industries and small work, ice water, sachet water, and all that kind of thing. If you give them clean drinking water, you cut down waterborne diseases. You cut down the distance that women have to travel to go and fetch water to come for the day's home activities. If you give them a school, the children are able to go to school. So these are important interventions that we have done. And I've received enough gratitude from the chiefs, and I'll consider that to be a good legacy. And anytime you travel out of the country in ease, you go to Terminal 3, you are well taken care of. That is part of the legacy. Kwame Nkrumah interchange, that small runabout, we estimated almost 100,000 cars use that runabout a day to cross from eastern part of Accra to western Accra. Today, when you get to Kwame Nkrumah interchange, you spend a minute there. You'd have spent 2 hours there. That is the legacy. You're going to Kaswa, you fly over that bridge. You don't see Kaswa anywhere. You'd have stood in Kaswa for the next 3 hours. That is all part of the legacy.
Okay.
We built universities in all the regions. University of Health and Allied Sciences, myself and Professor Mills, built that university. Every graduate who comes out of that is a legacy to Professor Mills and myself. University of Energy and Natural Resources, University of Environment and Sustainable Development. I mean, it's countless. Today, if you have COVID, they'll take you to University of Ghana Medical Center.
Touch wood if I have COVID.
No, I don't wish you COVID. But I'm just giving you the examples
yes,
of
I get
things
you.
that people might not realize, affect their lives in a positive way. Yeah, that's all I'm doing.
You call for a break, you call People's Manifesto. But before the break, the question of legacy is important, and it links into this whole argument about borrowing, because at the end of the day, one thing it takes center stage in the 2016 campaign was say Mubo Busia Bibre Nana Busiano, and that script is coming back and it's playing out now. I recall say what can I say under you. Who are they? 54 billion. 56 billion, sorry, to the national debt stock. And through that, what the year? I remember Baumia, Vice President Baumia lectures never say offer signature projects in Kabumua. They all amounted to some 7 billion. In Yobusa say out of 54 billion, they are carrying in Sikano echoing, and you are asking them the same question now. Why? I didn't hear.
Because it's important. It's important. Yefi Abaimu, the public debt was 122 billion. That is from whatever time it was. 122 billion.
Yeah.
Today, the public debt is 257 billion. And he should ask himself the same question. What is there to show for it? If even in my time, and I don't believe in his analysis of what the total project profile was. I don't believe in his analysis. But even in my time, let's assume that, yes, that is how much we spent. But this is how much debt we added. In this time, what can he show for what he spent? Does he have a single hospital? In 4 years, he hasn't built a hospital. He hasn't built any secondary school. Today, they are struggling to finish a few secondary schools. We are building 200 of them. They haven't built, which major road have they done? Which highway have they done? We did the asphalting of Wipe to Tamale. It was failing.
Yeah.
We did that for $54 million. There are several other projects we did. Kwame Nkrumah Interchange, all of them. At least we can stand and hit our chest and show things that we delivered with the debt. Now 140 billion. You media people, ask him, what do they have to show in terms of social and economic infrastructure?
But would the answer you gave in 2016 not suffice? Say, Sir, Ghana for Pesu Yanko Parliament, all these loans pass through Parliament. About it, project or you give that
let
answer.
them show the projects. Let them show the projects. They should go and say, we passed these loans in Parliament, we built this and that and that and that. There's nothing. There's nothing to show. Pokwasi Interchange, that debt was accounted for in my time because that's when we signed the agreement with the African Development Bank. You know.
But is it not when you draw down the debt?
No. Once you approve it in Parliament, it is added to your debt stock.
Okay. Even before the drawdown.
Before the drawdown, as soon as you approve any project in Parliament, it's added to your debt stock. That's the new IMF accounting method.
Okay.
And just find out. You know, that's why we should sit together. And Kanana Pania, I'll just sit with him, and we'll all bring our papers, and we'll just talk to the Ghanaian people and show what we did with 56 billion, and then he too can show what he's done with 140 billion.
Debate, still up. Debate,
Oh, Maka, my name's Oma.
That's like the man said. We'll go for
but
this.
The point I'm making is, you see, the point is, why has the debt ballooned so much?
That much.
You have a finance minister who is a cousin to the president, whose interest is in raising bonds, and his own bank, Data Bank, is the broker for these bonds. Until there is a conflict of interest, there's a desire to borrow more because the more he borrows, Data Bank makes money. You understand? Until we've gone on the bond market for $9 billion, $9 billion within these 4 years. You know, so the point is, we took 6 billion, but you can see what the $6 billion has done in our economy.
And you will raise a conflict of interest issues against the finance minister.
There's conflict of interest.
That means that it's something you would love to pursue. So, because conflict of interest,
I will not pursue. The law will take its course. The law will look at everything. I mean, that's why I said it's better to clean your house than to wait for somebody to come and clean it for you. So these are things President Akufo-Addo should be dealing with. What you're saying. But conflict of interest, and a cousin, can he investigate his cousin? No president appointed as many judges as he has. We all had an agreement from the constitutional review that will have an upper limit to the Supreme Court, even though it's not in the Constitution.
Okay.
It doesn't give an upper limit.
And what was the upper limit?
But he has exceeded it. He's appointed. Today we have 18 Supreme Court judges. You know,
yes.
3 more than the 15 that the constitutional review was recommending. I didn't appoint more because I didn't want to exceed the 15.
But the white paper issued accepted the 15.
Yeah.
The white paper accepted the 15.
It did.
One thing it defined in 2016 campaign was corruption. This year, and share that may be very topical in this campaign. I don't know why, maybe because issues are policies not taking center stage more than the issues of corruption. But so what says a buying way and the fight against corruption? Is there anything positive to talk about?
And better issue because the media is supposed to set the agenda.
Okay.
And you've given this government a free ticket when it comes to corruption.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, I mean, the way you held us up to accountability is not the way you're holding this government up to accountability. Yes, it's true. It's true.
But we've not relaxed. I mean, we asked all the questions we raised. A lot of the scandals are abound that this government, the media brought them up.
And then you drop them and then you move on. Also, yeah, you continue and continue and continue. I mean, you set the agenda. And so if you want Ghana to discuss corruption, you can make them discuss it the way we did in 2016. But now, I mean, it's like, it's not a more important issue to anybody. But of course, I'm sure as a media man, you yourself will be disappointed at the way this government has handled corruption. You see, the thing about corruption is that it's not that it won't take place. You understand? And especially as president, I mean, there's a state institution. You've appointed somebody there. You understand? You would not know what he's doing there until it comes up.
Yes. Yes.
What the Obiako share in a state institution or so Aban Juma. Who near Ecoso until Bibi Esi na Yakasa Okata Sishebi Esi Waha. Then Juma as president to make sure say the processes are and as investigative processes take their course irrespective of NIPA or what you're saying. Enti the American is and yes corruption ANC. How you deal with it, that matters. Say, koba na about to your attention. Na odianya o yene say, upeja carpet no wapra fi no akoshe carpet na say. o continue say opera fi no carpet na say emre bebe dru ha na carpet na nya even bio baby be peja na obi foforo na landlord foforo na opeja carpet na na e wa say he will sweep it all out. And then I say important say na not be dealing with these issues of corruption under his administration rather than abain foforo beba to come and deal with it. There were post regime accountability and there were regime accountability.
Yeah.
What you are saying?
Yeah.
It is better to say over having regime accountability than to have post-regime accountability. Say over say may corruption and catastrophe the project. Into abide that a tribunal may be prosecute you more. I know you're the easiest way to easiest form of fighting corruption. Near adding and they say one person for. You're taking action against them. That is the mark of courage in the fight against corruption. Okay. Now, Oshe and Abaya, I mean, just cases are big now. Just show me any action is being taken against the person. Cases are big now since this Abaya by all the boss scandal, then Kelly GVG. When all those scandals are married, then just mami one example of any action that Abaya file against anybody.
Where the action means taking them to court, because some of them have been asked to step aside. If that also is part of the action, I don't know.
No, step aside in what sense?
And in the case of say PPA,
yeah.
Public Procurement Authority boss, yeah. he's no longer boss of the PPA.
Yeah, but file no special prosecutor.
Yes.
And action ben taking. Special prosecutor will cases, a pile load of them. Because I mean, how many of the cases he's been able to prosecute? Yeah, because he are teaching in Ewonichi. And so on to proceed. One, he has a problem with funding. On better budget, Musa Office of Special Prosecutor 180 million. And so at the end of the year, saying how much of that money and the other money to be able to hire proper investigators and all that. Only investigators. And to also rely on Attorney General and police investigators. You know, but we're one of the flagship anti-corruption fights. And he feels he would have moved Office of Special Prosecutor to some level. HSA. And then just leave him. Then Jano no the Juma. What I say? Yeah, but we'll leave the Office of Special Prosecutor free.
Office I will be maintaining.
Oh yes, why not? It's established by Parliament.
Okay.
We'll leave it free.
Okay.
Now until me the Juma. And the point is, my one name your appointees. I say, hey, Papa, your chewa, mean to me, Joe. Until you will Juma ye. Now be our involving the whole in Katasisha and our prayer. Say, I buying Esa so Muna, it's dealing with you. Joe.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah. That's the kind of attitude that I was saying on Mampini for. But like I'm saying, Katasichani Proede, I mean, Abai is the biggest institution in Ghana. Who are DCs, who are chief executives.
Yeah. We've not done well. Ghana.
They say more holding this government to the same standard of accountability.
Not done well. In effect, we've not done well. Yeah. We've not done well. Ghana ain't here solutions. In fact, how do we cure family and friends issues? How do we cure the number of ministers that personally have said that this administration, or more ministerial appointment, I have a big challenge with it. How are you going to solve that problem for us? Because what we need to be assured of, because you two and morning said, Ebushia, Namfor, Eyere, Emma, Amemono. We don't say if you are a part of Ebushia, now we be president, I won't be quiet. But how do you solve that problem? Because you have the same situation now, everybody follow. How are you going to cure it? Again,
and then again, the issue of nepotism in Yijimu, that's another, I think that percent of the come now to how you are going to solve it. Send out me Excellence.
The point is, we share this particular administration. Now share president, Nipa, Omuye Nebusia, Omo in the presidency. It's abnormal. Meaning say, Oman Penny Kofa Breso, Nani Minister of Defense.
Yes.
But we share Dr. Dukufa. I mean, he's a person, he had been in parliament with us and all that. What I say, and raising eyebrows there. But man said who say, President Kufuor a packet the government with Nebusia for. You understand? Professor Mills Abreso, Nina Cadman was an advisor. And also Cadman will be the kind of person he is. What I say? Aside from that, who say President Mills a packet administration no, with Nebusian in the relative.
John Mahama Abreso.
Abreso, me na mini obia or me blood relation with my baby, except Joyce Bauer.
Joyce Bauer.
Joyce Yemi Antiba. You know, so she's the only person, not a deputy minister. Aside from that, the whole administration, you understand? Almost say one or two of your relatives might be qualified, what I say. But I will say, exercise a certain sense of judgment. It won't be like a Bushia Baku and Aji government thing in Alpha because abiding here for Ghanaians, you understand? And everybody is entitled, say, obey survey in government or benefit from whatever appointments there are. You get my point? But where the accordos on the door, you know, everybody will be a relative to somebody, somebody is a relative to somebody, somebody is a relative to somebody. What I say? Ain't a year on my opinion and Casa because he's the appointing authority. On no master appointments, no. Ain't it? So what I say? Normally, what we do is your appointments committee. And the appointments committee and almost suggested the people who should be appointed. And it say all the regions, you know, ever send the possible names for ministerial appointments, boards, and so on and so forth. Now, the appointments committee. The appointments committee transfer. I say, you recommend the way for this position, you recommend the way for this position, you recommend the way for this position. In terms of the reports back, then the president and a small group at Transfer, and then they go through it. Okay. They go through. I say, way or Sefata. And yes, and we are also looking at regional balance. Say, we'll be making sure say at least every region represented in government. That is a transparent way to go about it. Minim senya ekoba say President Ebusia for ne relations akodos or Abai Musa.
And is it a promise you are willing to make, say, in your next government, God willing? There will not be an issue of family and friends.
I don't need to make that promise because I've been president before.
We need to hold you probably.
No, we need something to hold you back.
Yes. Oh, I know them. It is your party foka. Wait there. Also, why you been here? So you buy more beer and casa. But no, principle is principle. What I say, we need to set examples for the future. Into my president,
yes,
I'm packing my government with my relatives, and it's not now that I'm going to do something like that. Yes, sir.
Indeed, you were the family and you were friends. How about friends? Because you cannot rule with your enemies. You have to rule or govern with people you know. How do we deal with that?
The point is, the family is the more pernicious. What I say. Friends there, you can have a friend who is very well qualified. Nobody will really raise eyebrows, say, Wadamfui is in this position or something. You know, but it's Ebusiano. You know, where one family, one, you know, community, among from Busia extended family will be Ajipos or Baimu. That's where the problem is. Friends noise, so we have favor to friends, you know, not based on issues of transparency. That's when you have a problem there.
Emrenti Yemra to the People's Manifesto. Now, yetimi time, ama some of the big ticket, you know, items are a womb. Number one, health. Of course, meaning say health idea that will come so the Ghana for be now so akoma so. In your next government, God willing, what agenda for health? I mean, you say free primary health care, which is like the major thing, more trumpety.
Yeah.
What's the agenda for health in your next administration?
The agenda for health, they say, under the big push, you be accelerate access to health care. Because what do any health policy ba? Nani pani access NHS and FASO so. It is all the national health insurance, but now within 50 kilometers of my constituency, my community, me need health facility. May they take advantage of health insurance? No?
Yes.
And one, I was here accelerated the availability of not only facilities but also say human resource, that is doctors, nurses, and so on and so forth. So that our people can have access. Then the second thing, they say you put the policy in place. Senya obiabet access to health care.
Yes.
And now your major flagship policy is free primary health care. So we share NHIS a free President Kufuor by 2007. Ebe payment 2020. Nipa ohanchichemu Edwin 40% of Ghana, and more access through national health insurance. 60% are Kano, Nipa, Oha, and Chichemu, Edwin have no access to health insurance. In Chomoko, I said, Omutuaka. I was said, Yade and Shishebi Bar, a bit me cover 60%, because the rate at which NHIS is not likely, say, by the time the SDG on health, universal health is reached, a bit me attaining. I think it's left with how many years? 9 years or something like that to hit that SDG. And yeah, the free primary health care, which will be a better option, And yes, a be health insurance, yeah, the better health insurance, so that 60% are national health insurance, access to health insurance, and so will benefit from the free primary health care. Now, I know it will cover the lower ranks of the health system, CHIPS compounds, clinics,
district hospital.
Up to district hospitals, yes.
But no be okay. Into health insurance, one major idea equity health insurance, claims payment. Obviously, because of that funding gap. Even when amount for atria premium still a government complains about funding. CC with the primary health care, and will be a premium. Where would the money come from? To sustain this, because obviously the numbers would be huge. Pressure on government finances would be more. Why would you want to put yourself in that fix?
When MBB, friend of Capping and Realignment Act.
Yes.
You say all statutory funds say exceed a certain percentage of the budget. Excess funding, Finance Minister Befa Edia to consolidated funds.
Yes.
When him said because of that capping and realignment, I buy far better almost 1 billion cedis out of national health insurance every year. Almost 1 billion cedis, 900 and something million.
Yes.
Almost far Edia to consolidated fund. Our estimates say you buy free primary health care.
Yes.
Will come to an average of about $8 per person. And I know calculate here, we need about 1.4 billion cedis a year to fund. Yes, to fund pre-primary health care.
Based on your projections.
Based on your projections. And just imagine, say, almost 1 billion is taken out from the health insurance fund. Then apart from that, VAT exemptions, normally NHIL can.
Yes.
But we're saying that NHIL should not be an exemption.
Okay.
Into exemptive VAT, if you like, you can take your get fund, you can take your value-added tax rate of 100%.
Yes.
But 2.5% called national health insurance must not be exempted.
Yes.
And you're exempt here, it will bring more money into the national health insurance. Into their ways of improving health insurance. They'll be able to provide additional support. Apart from that, free primary health care, you bet me use oil revenue because you're redefining capital investments to mean also human capital.
Yes.
Until every year you're far better, so far you're far out of the ABFA about 3 billion to fund free SHS.
Yeah.
Until if we take another 1.4 billion to fund health for all, I think it's in order. Until one, you business car from ABFA, and then two, you business car from the extra money that will be released under the NHIS. I think it's possible to fund.
My question is, until now, how was the almost 1 billion spent until now? Not this money this is can here.
Until now, that money was used to pay claims, and then also finance administration and the other things are national health insurance here. Until right now, Omuyi says it can free hono. It's emasculating them. What they call facility providers no. A lot of them have Omuka for many months. And so somehow this government a way of suppressing people. That's part of the suppression of our democratic rights. We are teaching now can be Shim, Yadobeko Bunkrugo, Ana Nakanduri, Ana Bole, The same way, health workers near there, the hospital administrators, we they complain on national health insurance and my you if you na they work for Abakrampa and that's how
that CHAG, Christian Health Association, they are not directly under government.
No, but they threatened to introduce cash and carry some time back. One thing.
Obi, that was Health Association. But now almost they've been paid like 3 months.
Asempa, they are paying discriminatorily. Abra ye ohono they tue obia at once. Right now, the ones who seem to make the noise, no, na ya pesika near their come you know, to silence them. Enti ultimately say obi ya deneka 4 months, obi ya deneka 9 months. You know, instead of paying all of them uniformly. Okay, and especially buying IR Sabia, they are the ones that suffer. Because buying the appointee into Oyefia, ebe you.
Excellency, still on health and health insurance for that matter. One issue opponent use against Mopa your promise of one-time premium. And maybe we need to get clarity. Piloting near there, but Anyejuma, I didn't hear.
Anyejuma because we had to deal with single spine. Single spine and a policy. It was inherited from Kufuor Aban. Until when we came, now there were one-time premium policy. We could have funded it. But Oshe Abraye implemented single spine, any arrears that you try, now there wasn't sufficient, funding to be able to do the one-time premium. Anything one-time premium. That's why we left it.
But you knew you were coming to inherit single spine.
No. I mean, we're not part of the discussions on single spine. It was when we took over, just the week before we were to take over, President Kufuor's administration announced a 30-something% increase under the single spine. Luckily, any union for not and so they won't take that into consideration. It's negotiated. And we thought that single spine, the way they were negotiating it, revenue neutral. I just say it won't lead to any upsurge in a. By the time wages and remuneration were consuming 73% of total tax revenue. It is 27%. And only the goods and services, capital investment and everything. It was impossible to fund one-time premium at that time. But we still hadn't given it up. Until Mebeye president, I set up a team to review the national health insurance and then come out with suggestions on how we can achieve universal health. Because the one-time premium was to achieve universal health. Because Nipa Bebre health insurance card they will. And so Niska renew. Until they cannot access healthcare, because Niska they be renew. Until that purpose was say you be achieve universal health for all. Until you set up a review committee to review the health insurance and see how we can achieve it. Until almost the report by and about I think in September and Sanami free 2016. Now we share a report to do more free primary health care is there. I'm saying the only way I able to achieve universal health for all is to implement a free primary health care program. And to my experts at Transit and on my share, we've done the calculations, everything, and you feel say a beboa.
I'm a voter. I want to be convinced on two things. Number two, one on availability of youthful employment, job creation for the youth. Two, on security. NDC manifesto. Specifically what they are talking about, what is about security. Because it's a 4-year issue. A backup, Bambo, resourcing the military, the police, the fire service, the immigration, all these matters. Me a voter. The assumption is that I'm looking at these two issues to vote. What specifically is in the manifesto? Security and job openings.
In the end, starting with job creation, because of its importance, and I know, say, more announcing another big ticket item. I mean, 1 million jobs, at least 250,000 jobs every year for 4 years. That's quite ambitious. I mean, me person uchrechi movie na fe ya share the other questions na ewo ho no. 1 million jobs.
The first one is we've done a human resource gap analysis to see not what the size of the public service is, but where we have deficiencies in terms of human resources. And the estimate from analysis I incorporate that we can provide 50,000 new jobs in the public sector every year.
50,000
new jobs
in the public sector
every year.
Every year, okay.
Until what they know, that's
200,000
jobs. Now, under the stimulus package I recommended, all small taxpayers are almost up to 200,000 Ghana cedis turnover a year. You'll be exempt from income tax. Now the intention is they say they'll be able to reinvest. We estimate say about 1.4 billion.
Yeah.
So that's like giving 1.4 billion stimulus to small and medium enterprises in Ghana to be able to say
Yeah.
Now it means that employ some more people. What you're saying. So that's another one. Then Yaka said, you startups, entrepreneur be a young person, I will start up with business. You be tax holiday.
Yeah.
So that you be how overtax in order that we be a team a jumano na wetimi afa nipa. Aside from that, medium-sized companies are almost employ up to 20 people, 1 year tax holiday. Or employ above 20 people, 2 years tax holiday. All the stimulus, investment are buying a year into the corporate sector in order that we can expand those sectors. Because the point is, well, business, no? You know how you can reinvest your money. And it say, OJ, me income tax. Now, I say, me the 600 million stimulus package, I bet to come and apply for the 600 million. And so, Anka me tax mamia, I'll know how to apply my own tax. What I say? And those stimulus packages are there, especially for youth entrepreneurs. Then under the big push, you be invested $10 billion in social and economic infrastructure, agro-processing, industry, and all those areas. Now, if you say, for instance, crop processing zone, say the processing facilities in the various crop value chain areas, it will create jobs. Aside from that, companies are participating in the big push now will be Ghanaian registered companies. And their staff must be overwhelmingly Ghanaian. And say, dualization of the roads from Accra to Cape Costa. Na Ghanaian company in area, civil engineers benye jumaye, masons benye jumaye, bulldozer operators benye jumaye, tipper truck operators benye jumaye. You understand? Say machines say the Beko magazine for benye jumaye to repair those machines. So that's injection into the economy.
Yeah.
More jobs. Your afforestation program. You feel say we can employ 100,000 people because I mean, some of the places I'm in, Western North near that, and then why can't we put them into growing forests? And there are all kinds of funds across the world, including World Bank, ready to give for projects that stop climate change. And tree growing is one of them. And Tibet may accessing some of those funds, pay our young people to plant trees and forests.
But the Forestry Commission is doing it now. Almost for 80,000 young people.
We can do more than that. We can do more than that.
A controversial when it's about youth education. I know, say free SHS, you've been taxed. You are not a fan of it.
On jobs, on jobs, let him finish. We are when it comes to education. Yes. On jobs.
There are all those opportunities. They are expanding, jobs. And so, in your public sector, private sector, stimulus packages, 10 billion big push. There were 1 million decoders program to train young people. Decoders program. 1 million coders program. 1 million coders program to train young people in coding and software development, so that you may develop that knowledge-based society in order that people can get jobs. Young people they are very adept when it comes to the digital revolution. And to say a more specialized training, you bet me Magana and so be a hub for all these software developments and coding programs. And also you're one of the programs. Then apart from that, skills upscaling. One of the major problems and they said they don't have any skills. Or we are secondary schooler. Apart from what he learned in secondary school, which gears him say or public work be or something like that. You need skills, you can say, oh, you be a juma oha, now mo pe carpenters and now masons. Obefa the whole area, you can't get any skilled people who have learned that. And then hotel tiles see a good way. It's likely say you can find tilers for Togo. They sure say we fear away see. We can find Togo tilers to come and do your tiles. POP on ceilings in our own area. You understand? Why can't we upscale young people to be able to do these things? One of the things lacking in terms of employment, for young people is lack of skills. I say we're going to do technical vocational education training. I gave you the example. Say, your technical universities all over the place. Say, the facilities are there, they are just lying idle. Why don't we bring these young people in on a modular system? Near more skills. About person excavator operators, we teach them how to operate an excavator. Bulldozer operators, carpenters, masons, welders, plumbers. The opportunities are there, and we can.
Your Excellency, sustainability of human way. So I have a question.
Yeah.
For instance, masons, bulldozer operators, say for 4 years, maybe bulldozer operators then they'll be redundant. How sustainable are these jobs? The
jobs are sustainable because we are saying investment now. You stimulate the economy and the economy will be growing. When the economy is growing, it throws up jobs naturally, sustainable jobs. Because as you expand the economy, you can employ more people. The economy was 28 billion. By the time we left, it was 55 billion. Can you imagine the number of jobs that were created under that AE? It's just that you need the machinery to gather employment statistics.
Data.
But that's one of the things we're going to do. Labor Office, National Employment Center, and Yabema Ako online. And so young people are almost skills and qualifications. They will register online. Say, maybe Takrady Technical University, say mechanical engineering, say. And then you're encouraging employers to hook on to the National Employment Center database. It is here any particular scaler. They go in the mechanical engineering at the Nipa Omaya Mechanical Engineering Aba. And it says first class, second upper, then. So they can go in there and invite these people, come for an interview. All those facilities will make it easier to link people up. And if you employ from South National Employment Center, we'll give you a tax break, a tax rebate, because you employed people from the National Employment Center. It's a combination of many things. And a bit creative.
To get the 1 million jobs. But Your Excellency, the other thing, before we move to other sectors, and it's because I'm more specific in the numbers, for example, Oma tax incentives to youth in entrepreneurship. There is no guarantee, say, because I'm on a tax break, into your befandi passé. And when you bank hopes on that and say you bet make it 250 million jobs, you might be found wanting at the end of the day. I mean, because of the guarantees now, how do we deal with that thing and ensure?
Do you doubt the entrepreneurial spirit of our young people?
I don't.
Yeah.
But youth might have
the thing is
priorities.
It's entrepreneurship, skills, and credit. One of the major bans of our development is that you need affordable credit.
Yes.
For business.
Yes.
What I say, that's been one of the major bins. And that's why you're setting up the Ghana Exim facility, which has been mismanaged.
The Exim Bank?
There's no transparency. You don't know who has been given to. There's no report showing who the beneficiaries are. And then find out.
Which one? The Exim Bank?
Yeah, Ghana Exim.
The one pushing the 1D1F?
Who have benefited from it? Do you know?
Yeah, the list is out.
I'm not talking of 1D1F.
Oh, you're not talking 1D1F.
I'm talking of how have they disbursed Ghana Exim money. We set up Ghana Exim. We set it up. I set it up as president.
Yeah.
But we didn't disburse before we left. So for 4 years, all the money that has gone into Ghana Exim, who has it gone to? That's the question I'm asking. You're a crack journalist. Do you know?
And you are saying apart from 1D1F,
apart from 1D1F, who else have received Ghana Exim? We want to know. We're interested to know.
May apply by Minyai.
But who have got? Yes, and some politically high people have got.
No, Jefamko is politically high.
Make us say politically connected, but those who are political connected have got it. Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund, $270 million. It's all been dissipated in gift. What I say? I'm saying is a combination of credit, skills, and entrepreneurship will yield positive outcomes. I gave you the example of the young lady who went into aquaculture.
Yeah,
and she's been very successful. And so I don't doubt the entrepreneurial spirit of our young people. Sargel, she's employing 20 people on her aquaculture project. And so I don't doubt the entrepreneurship of our young people. See, a more affordable credit. The point is, won't even call bank and call this car 30%. into me establishing any meaningful business. What you're saying. And the problem with our microcredit system was that the interest rates were too high. Microcredit loan 6% per month. So the only thing you could do was short-term things. And you may be about ports. Into Okojibosiana, not wako yin in term, no supply, no ajiska, no abetua. So the funding doesn't go beyond 3 months. But we put things like Ghana Exim and others in place so that they can get longer term credit, a year more affordable with lower interest rates. And I was here streamlining. And we get our young people, they make creative programs to say near a year under youth entrepreneurial support.
Yes.
They say for or idea, bra. What they buy, ma and crofoni watchna. Now, on my feasibility study, you know, for you, that is bankable. Until your first feasibility study, now, near how much are we here? 500,000 Ghana cedis, 200,000 Ghana cedis to establish this business. And then we establish it. You've been mentored for some time. Kopem say you are on your own feet. What do you say?
Okay. Mate, the 3-shift system.
Yeah.
For Ghanaians, especially
24-hour economy.
Okay.
24-hour economy.
Okay.
Right now, the economy, it works from 8 to 5.
To 5, yeah.
Near Pong.
Okay.
Until there's no night economy.
Okay.
In many countries, the economy never stops working. It continues 24 hours. Until you are able to increase the number of people that you employ. What you say? Formally say, it links to your question on safety and security. Formally say, your fuel stations no more be 24 hours. Okay. Your safety and security, armed robbers attack your Monty and they started
11 normal.
Exactly. What you say? Supermarkets, it be 24 hours. You go to markets, no more night markets. There were a lot of businesses and now omuye juma anajo. Also, afe sa nyomani na echa because of safety issues. Maybe armed robbers be 2 ago so. Now so safety and security now okano. Jinsem, you know, because it's only now last year me speak out. Me call northern parts, northeast region, upper east, upper west even though curfew ni ho. There was an artificial curfew. By 9 o'clock, who said car be any kwan so. Adaya armed robbers at a block kwan a robbing Crawford. Regional constituency chairman for Dafiamabuse Isa DBI constituency. Armed robbers kuno. Okay, a year he was coming back about 9 something.
Recently?
It was this year.
Oh, okay.
I think this year.
Okay.
Early this year.
Okay.
And they ambushed him and shot him and killed him. You know, safety has become an issue. And the point I made, say, you're training Kofu Bibre. They be able to and Kofu ways to carry a training. And Kofu ways to carry a training. You hear about vigilantes near there. Yama and Kofu throw their guns in the system and all that. And if there's an increase in the incidence of armed robbery, say, these people have been trained on this thing, and you say, be involved in armed robbery. There are 2 incidents: armed robbery here, Flagstaff House identification cards and national security cards. You know, and so you're creating democratization of violence and weapons. And it's increasing the incidence. And the point is, President Nakasa, he espouses violence. You know, all die be die, then, Awasu West Wagon, then, Atiwa Traum, Bibi Kakra. You know, it encourages this culture. But it's still lingering. Delta forces, invisible forces, what could train you now when you and they are holding weapons. And then during the week, daytime, national security, weekend, no more leave, no more armed robbery, no more cyber. You know. Yeah, but Ghana is no longer safe. Ghana is no longer safe. We'll call some of the northern parts and things that armed robbery incidents every day. We'll check crime statistics more. In 2016, I think we had about between 10, 12, 13 incidents of violent robbery a week. Now it's almost 50 incidents every week. Until the incidence has gone up, what I say. And so, maybe your man Penya, I will not give arms to vigilante groups. May the weapons no be my police for, and then give them the bulletproof vest so that they can go and fight these armed robbers. And then will be all these former invisible forces almost share bulletproof vests. Now almost the BBA.
But they are now national security operatives, and that's a state institution, national security.
That's what I'm saying. Find out what they do part-time. Some of them find out what they do part-time.
Oh, that's what you are alleging. That some of them.
I said people have been involved in robbery on whom national security ID cards have been found. And the point is the police is demoralized. Share registration exercise, time I registration. A police officer in uniform, not plain clothes, obi okuta pistol or threaten police officer. I mean, when have you ever seen this? You saw the video. When who video no?
Yeah.
Now police officer fully clothed or teho, and na nipa or share mufti okuta pistol or threaten police officer no, and the soldiers were begging him. Oh yeah, why? You get my point? So a certain upturning of the system has taken place. There are some people who have considered national security. National security is a coordinating body.
Yes.
And your body, I was say, omudi tuo ekoye bibia. They coordinate security services. No, it is a BBCA. It's national security that call police. You have to do this. Army, you have to do this. Yes, you have to do this. But then, nipa from national security, I mukuta tuo. You understand? Ebin mo de oma ko share CID. Into be who some share CID. When the CID ever make up baby, ebia there's a function. Me who so be agent ho share CID vest and okuta AK-47. When the CID ever become, you know, bearers of arms and, you know, doing operational, ain't Oma messy up the whole security system. And that is why we're having what we're having.
Okay.
Ain't about we will restructure it. National security, a coordinating body. Omunkura tuo enko bebia. If there should be any arrest, national security and by arrest you. The police will come and arrest you.
Your Excellency, Obi, say you move because of time.
Yeah, time into. You have to do education.
Education. Yeah. You've talked about Chimupe for the tertiary students, free TVET, and then an all inclusion for free SHS.
Yeah.
Details no woman any day.
Chimpeno, because of COVID and the lockdown, affected a lot of the business of Ghanaians. Anything this stimulus package is in Eba.
Okay.
Into ama enyoma eden kakra, especially if you look at the tertiary education fees. What I say, averagely, I say students almost have between 1,500 to 2,000 Ghana cedis. Now you calculate students are public tertiary institutions. Our Ghana have. On bedu by 400,000.
400,000.
Yes, from our estimation.
Okay.
Maybe a little higher, maybe a little lower. And we will need 400 million cedis for it to assist the parents to cope.
That's for the 1 year, no?
That's for the 1 year, no? So that they are able to cope because of COVID. They believe the economy will bounce back, people's businesses will bounce back. Until once it bounces back, it will make it easier for them to be able to afford to pay the fees of their children. Until we've costed it, we know how much it will cost. And we'll be able to get the funding for it. I mean, if you take away 40 of those ministers, 125 ministers, we bear 40 free. You save about 63 million a year. A year, you're from saying, appointees on more Jubilee House, the political appointees are special assistants and all those things. 1,000 something. So you 200 pay everywhere. You save 186 million on their remuneration and everything. And by even, you know, reducing the size of government, we'll be able to raise enough money to pay half of the students' fees for them. And so it's something that we can do. And I'm promising you, I'm going to drastically reduce the size of government We've itemized the number of ministries we intend to have, and it's much lower.
Would you want to put it out?
How many? Yes.
Not yet.
But at least.
Because we are still looking at the combinations.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
youth, we want to have a youth ministry, separate, standalone.
Youth ministry, standalone.
Yes, so that we can actualize all this youth entrepreneurship and all
you
those
bring
things.
all of them under that ministry.
Under youth. So we'll have a ministry. You see, what they combine sports are, youth doesn't get attention because everybody's mind is on sports, especially Black Stars, football, that's all. Into youth issues get lost. Into a youth ministry, no? And it will have to do with youth employment, it will have to do with youth entrepreneurship, it will have to do with youth, you know, building of patriotism in young people, youth leadership training institute. Those are the things that are lacking. We are not orienting our children from when they are young and showing them what it is to be patriotic to your nation and all that. We want to have a separate youth ministry. Until America said we're still aligning. Yeah. But I can tell you it is far, far, far lower than this.
In terms of the number of ministries and the number of ministers and deputy ministers.
Exactly.
It will come down.
Exactly.
At least 80.
We'll make a drastic
80
change.
ministers.
When I was president, it was 87.
87, yes.
And so it won't go above that.
It will not go above that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's only that you have to take cognizance of the new regions.
Yeah.
You know, now we have 16 regions, and so you have to have another 6 ministers, you know, to look after the regions.
But Obi, on education, free SHS, and your promise to abolish the double track
within 1 year
within 1 year.
We can do it easily.
Quite many abefaso, I know.
Anka ye schools now yes, you know, this double track wouldn't have happened. What I say? Let me remember examples. Frafraha, you see one secondary school or community day secondary school. My name is Mohuda. Ewa Frafraha. Kwabenya. You see one school. At that me be a Kwabenya school no. The school was already full because you be a school no at the time when they were doing computer placement. Inti Oma Hotel Kwabenya ne Madina area hall, all those areas. Once they knew the school was open, Ebia Obi Neba Yadenoko Kukrantumi Ana Yadenoko Boko Ana Yadenoko Bole Secondary School. They immediately went to the school and had their children admitted there. What I say? Inti say yes, our schools now, and then we spread out the children. This issue of congestion in the existing secondary schools will not happen, because at the last count we had about 600 secondary schools in Ghana, normal secondary schools. And Sana, you had the 200 new ones, community day schools, no, So we would have pushed it to 800. Each of those schools can take between 1,000 and 1,500 students in each of those community day schools. So times 200, you're talking of almost 200,000 new spaces for children. What I say? And aside from that, you have a targeted high density urban areas. Until Oshe to say Adenta, any Madina area hall. The secondary school service sa area no West African Secondary School.
Yes.
Osha West African Secondary School, omo asase wo ho. Even private encrofo encrochi wo omo asase no so. Enti say one of those schools Ekosi West African Secondary School asase so. You've already expanded the number of places within that catchment area no. Enti yaba will finish yabe wiesa schools in time. Na ya chiche enkwada no ebi akọ Me see school no back wo Bamboy. First, you kwada ewo Bamboy, omuko Bole Secondary School, ana Kintampo Secondary, ana Winchi Secondary. Sa schools no 3 no were the closest to Omukrom.
Yeah.
But and there the school back home is Bamboy. Inti Bamboy kwada omuko Bole ne eyi. Inti easy the pressure on those 3 schools also. What you say? Inti USA schools then tema you be easy pressure no on the existing schools. Then apart from that, private schools ayede omaka hono would also help. Because ultimately, na school I work on your private school, I buy school in New What I say, but yeah, free SHS no. More private school in your home for soninity. I will find na your mama every private schools no they about buying school. I know can home and a pressure na about buying so. Enti yedi omo ka hono, especially areas are buying school in New Your share facilities, now or facilities here up to standard, or classrooms, or dormitory block, or dining hall, bibia, kama. What I say? Yeah, do beka.
But what I choose to and sana wako. Our senior high school education fundamentally choice based. I would have to choose school I'm pay. Into the private school I beka home. Omunyana or data and so. If I don't choose it, you don't put me there. So really, the problem is not solved.
No, but the point is, if within that community, for instance, schools are you see, E-block schools, no. Your friend saying, it was not on the computer placement system, but it was full. The day I was commissioning, it was full because they opened admissions in the school, and their committee day
without going through the CSSP.
It didn't go through the CSSP. Into parents who were around the area, at the Omoma Ebaho, what I say, and they were admitted, and they are in school now. And then later we put them on the CSSP. It will be the same with private schools. What I say, once Awufu said they will benefit from free SHS in the private school, and private school no Omu community, the standard of education is just as good as in a public school. And
the private schools need facility will be like a scholarship thing.
We know how much we spend per child per year on free SHS.
Yes.
And it is that amount that we will give. It will be like a bursary.
So what do you mean? Parents would have to top up?
No. It will be like a bursary.
Because a private student, edgy, say 2,000 per any student.
It's something we'll sit with them and agree on what it should be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that was my worry. So fees are private schools no charge as compared to government or public schools. Would they be willing to accept that quota fee? Say be a 1,005 now, so the man 500 and 600 Ghana cedis.
Right now, most of those schools are empty.
They have no option, really.
That's the point. What you say? Okay. If we're giving 1,000 per child per year, what you say? And no budget 1,000, and be able to educate the child, it's fine. But this is something we'll sit with them and engineer.
My wrap it up, and I think it's fair, sir. You have more opportunity to respond to this. Number one, now the economy is projected to grow at 0.9. In fact, I've heard you and some other functionaries of your party say they even predict some negatives. What it then means is that the finance minister we would need 3-4 years to crank up the economy and get it back. Within this same economy, it go downwards, no? And I will make you all these promises, some of them very capital intensive. How do you convince the Ghanaian people say in this same economy,
that's because someone mismanaged the economy, no? COVID has aggravated it, but the economy was already mismanaged. And sana COVID there, but when him say 2019, domestic revenue target here meeting.
2019.
Yes, domestic revenue target here meeting.
Yes.
Okay, I say senior staff union GRA and on my board we're having a quarrel about bonuses because GRA now say omu meet your target. And I'm so any say you meet target and I will say we'll try your bonus. And I'm so they be not exactly that. And there was a tussle, okay.
Yeah.
Ndc and said there was a shortfall, big shortfall in revenue. There was a gap. Until they did something criminal. One more call 2 commercial banks, two commercial banks, Eko borrow Sika in advance on the accounts of some big taxpayers and credited it for 2019.
You're serious about that?
I'm telling you. It breaches the Financial Administration Act, everything. They borrowed to make up the domestic, just to show the world, say, they were managing the economy well. This is the deceit this government has been taking us through. The one who say, there were 2 sets of economic data, Ghana, under any president, from Rawlings, Kufuor, Mills, myself. When have you seen 2 sets of economic data? And that's what I'm saying, we hold you to the same set of standards and accountability. From last year, the different set of data, Emma International Community, into Moody's, then they're upgrading them and they are better managers of the economy. They've been worse at managing this economy. They've grown this economy's GDP less than I grew it in 4 years. Go and check the data. And so the propaganda, we're better managers, we've managed the economy. The economy had no shock absorbers. Until as soon as COVID hit, straight into ICU.
But the GDP was doing 8, it came to 6.
Because we got 2 new oil fields. I worked on them, 10 fields, Sankofa fields. Yes. All the things I did in capital development with the ABFA and everything was with one field, Jubilee Field. We had only 1 oil field. I worked on 2 new oil fields, Sankofa and ENI. The revenues came into the laps of the new government.
Yes.
Yeah, so they received more revenue. And that is why the GDP If you look at the growth in GDP, it was mainly oil-driven, oil growth. What you're saying? So it's not like they managed the economy. I mean, it was a windfall they got. All the work was done by a previous government. You came, you got more revenue from oil. It made the GDP. In 2016, it was predicted that the GDP will grow by 8.5%. They didn't do any magic in 2017 to grow the economy at 8.5%. What you say?
Okay.
Into all that thing about better economic managers is a myth. By last year, the economy was struggling. And that's why they're having to borrow more. Because as you borrow more, you need to borrow more to cater for the interest and all that. And that's why we have a spiraling debt. Until when we come, one of the first things we'll do is we will reconvene our conference with the, you remember the Senchi conference?
The Senchi conference.
Yeah, we're going to do a Senchi 2. And we're going to build consensus around fiscal consolidation. Because there are some steps that we must take to stop the downslide. This government has had access to more revenues that they could have created more shocks and buffers. That is what we created when we were in office. We put almost $500 million in the sinking fund.
Yes.
Until when the Kufuor Eurobond was due, they didn't have to struggle. They just went to the sinking fund, took the money and paid it. We could have spent that money, but we didn't. We were looking towards the future. We put $270 million in the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund. They've dissipated all that money. We had collected the cocoa receipts, 1.8 billion. We didn't spend it. They came and took it over and took it. We established Ghana Exempt. This government inherited so many opportunities that they have squandered. But we'll build those buffers again. What happens is an economy must have shock absorbers so that it is resilient and able to withstand external shocks. As soon as we got an external shock, COVID, immediately the economy crumbled. Even when there was doomsday, the economy was growing under my watch.
Okay.
Your Excellency, I'm saying you're signals, but you're some trophy. I think that it would be only fair. Say, baby, some a fire some trophy. Mate Media Development Fund.
Yeah.
Which is what the Bebo and some trophy journalists and media houses. Maybe because I remember in 2013 there was similar media development fund. There 1 million Ghana cedis through the Ministry of Information. So this time around we are hearing another media development fund. How is it going to work?
There was a disagreement on how it should be disbursed. It couldn't go forward. Mekai said the ministry distributed some laptops and there were quarrels over the laptops near the other, but the fund, me feel said the main purpose should be for professional development and then helping with basic, equipment. But all in all, what we'll do is, remember, board of trustees, to be composed of a central fund Nankasa with some eminent people in society. Into this kind of fund, they will come out with the outline for how it should be disbursed. It will be done on consensus. Obiabe can say, oh look, we need scholarships to train professionally. We want this number of people to go to GIJ or this place to upgrade their skills in terms of journalism and things like that. It will be by consensus how the fund should be. You share the lessons of last media development fund. There's lessons making sure say we know papa.
One very critical sector yen don't pay attention to pensions. Yeah. I recall the data net the bar out. Now 80% of pensioners and now 1,000 cedis or less a month, 80%. And that's unbelievable. For you, God willing, so be president, what's that strategy to deal with pensions?
We'll share your manifesto more. Pensions feature quite prominently. Yeah. If we say nipa waye ejuma wasom ne man ewie okoje na home na ebi an pension 200 Ghana cedis ontimi hwe no ho ontimi hwe ne yere ne ma what I say it pushes them to an early grave we be hu on chebia na eche say yare ne areho ne ade na we free. It's an area you pese you hwe na you improve pensions. One of suggestions are here about any the 13th month bonus pension.
Okay.
And I don't know at the end of the year, you're the 1 month pension ebeka home. You know, especially akoye Christmas season near the day. Inti say oje ebia yanka say 800 cedis. I just say in the month of December, obenya a second which will be 1,600 cedis. Inti nina is a way of enhancing their capacity to be able to look after themselves. Now, the account also, and they say, we also contribute to the whole of, also contributing for a minimum of 20 years. And during that 20-year period, they all contribute to know. Sometimes they could do baby, we lose on a job. What I say? Meanwhile, you can add that home. Okay, it's a COVID time. You can say, Anka, at least something out of fund, no. Almost bet me they are tidy or more pemp say a yare no back from. You know, and a Senate back and say,
they have to tweak the law.
When I make you know, that means say we have to tweak the law. Say, me Maria, a member of parliament, my president. And the meaning say, you bet me a tweaky law no, to make it possible. And the manifesto, we are there to say about, you know, will amend the law, send a beggar. To say private school teachers, you know, and abiding teachers, they are almost you know, abiding to your but private schools, because of COVID, are omonko school, no, and most of the private schools, you intimate to your moka. Into Anka Omo contributed Kakrano, Anka at least 100 cedis a month, and 200 cedis a month, for the meantime, compare say, Bibiabe normalize it, would have been something that would have been useful. Aside from that, yeah, the collateralization of pensions idea about. What contribute to from 15 years towards 20 years? What I say? We see Canada home. We need baby that. You're about to retire. You don't have a place to lay your head. And I say you can be able to collateralize your pension now. Now they see a danky to AB, 2-bedroom and
that is even before you retire.
Before you retire. Ubetimia collateralize your pension now to build somewhere so that Ubetimia lay your head. What I say? But the qualification should be that you should have contributed for a certain number of years. And also, it's something we'll discuss it with all the SNITs and all of them and see how we can, and the financial sector, to see how we can activate it. Because sometimes, Nipano eco pensioner, or need dying, na wakotna ebusiafie, you know, you go and a dino and you're no one on a busiafobina. It's a bit inconvenience and what I say. And also yeah idea but the most important one is how to get the informal sector involved. We started the cocoa farmers pension scheme. You know, into this government, I know it's continuing it. And I know say about a cocoa bia on betumbia, a baby kakra near the atoho. A big kakra near the atoho. A baby do say why you're old now onto me and ye phone bium. Na ye nisika ye diamano. And that one maka cashew for there. Cashew for also once we have the authority and it is buying the cashew and processing, and also we'll do it the same as AE. But even the informal sector, obia or a certain regular income. What I say, you bet me AE sign income ni be at home. To say dressmakers, hairdressers, even a month when you have 1,000 Ghana, you know, or 800 Ghana. Now we 50 Ghana. Months within 20 years, I mean, with the interest that at least ubenya a little something that you can also use to look after yourself. And the sad schemes also
that's for pensions.
Will work to other.
One other thing is where define a campaign way the issue of salvaged cars, and when make it promise this ban on the importation of salvaged cars, no. Buying justifications for doing that because they've said listen, say car no eddy 10 years and above, and no to mean farmer about 10 years and below you can bring it. But the higher damage near the men farmer, you say you're going to bring all those cars in?
You see, I'm say sad they are buying and drinking here before they brought that the excitement say yeah assembly plants. And at the end, then we're moving into the modern Deben. Without Oman share impact, Benya Ewo Yen Croft also our own local automotive industry. What you say?
Yeah.
Because salvage cars, CB, a pem kakra. What you say? And say, I mean, you've been seeing some of them. About Porter, a pem kakra, and yeah, they are saying, you know, and it generates jobs within our economy. Because Nipanuko ya or they call body works na omo akoye na spray and so spray na onu so nya sika kakra anase bibi kakra se wo ho oba obekwa aboso kan obekwa koto part no na de abehye nti wo hwe industry rely on that business omo don so car dealers omo nyina eho na omo so munya omo kakra etimi de hwe omo ho nti so okọ say you are banning salvage vehicles. And then apart from that, there's also the thing of the tax, almost increasing tax to 35% in order to protect the automobile industry. Now just sa assembly planter, EBA, workers normally do 100. What I say? Into who way sa 100 people against the effector ebenya on our whole automotive industry. I mean, I don't think any sane government will pass a law like that. Into yani omushai. And they put their point to us. And it was reasonable. Until the two manifesto says, exactly. I buy bet me assembly plants. What I say? Say a VW assembly plant to Toyota assembly plant to just pass an edict. Say a buy car, how many cars na buying to a year? Pass an edict. Say a buy car a bit to be and
you buy from them
assembly plant. No, you'll be able to sustain the assembly plant. Your top pickups, your top cars. For directors, for why. And I say, you are afraid the VW assembly plant about, and you better VW assembly plants on
cars.
VW cars on because Kantanka almost assemble pickups. Until your police, your Ministry of Health, why will be you better pick up a mano, Kantanka and you better amount. You understand? It will bolster the assembly. Not private people, no, and let them do their work. And see, I think that's the point with that.
On the same ban, no, the government's suspension of Saban because that's can take effect from November.
1st November.
1st November, but Abino are suspended. What dream was suspension on anything?
Say about to normal suspending because make us say Parliament or home. And he say when you say Obesa Emrana, just call Parliament and Mahama amend it. And they will suspend it. Send a bear a baton inti. Na baton will be now because when you free hope you might then obey.
This election will not be about the leading candidates say. It will be about Omunya power and what did they do. Fortunately for Ghana, the two leading candidates have all tasted power before. Opponent Akase. You've occupied the presidency of our country for 8 years, first as vice, second as president. You had the opportunity to do some of the things I woke us here and went to me and Yenti. You lack credibility when it comes to some of your promises. What will be your response to that? And then I'll be confirmed.
President Akufo-Addo say, or your candidate, no, so obviously 350 secondary schools. But I mean, how many secondary schools he has built? Does he have credibility? I'm just giving you an example.
I'm listening.
Yeah, the point is, I was president for 4 years. The previous 4 years, me vice president.
Yes.
Vice president who work it to your president. And whatever we achieved in that first 4 years, to the credit of Professor Mills.
Yeah.
I became president. I took responsibility for this country just before the 2012 election. And then I was in office for 4 years. My track record for 4 years is there for all Ghanaians to see. The impact I had on the economy. We grow economy from 2009. You grow economy from 28 billion to 55 billion. The statistics are there. Everything, other thing, what they share, employment of nurses. You employ almost 49,000 nurses. Ministry of Health records all. In the 4 years, Akufo-Addo
around 40,000. 40,000 nurses from the records.
Oma employed 17,000 nurses. We employed more nurses and teachers than they have done. What I say? But the thing is, by any MP before, they have a certain way of propagandizing. What I say? You best say we say, "Oh, country you understand?" Because we did our best. Doomso say, "Okay, say 2016, not Doomso ni hobium." So okay, we had solved it. We had brought the car power plant, the Mary plant Abba. Into 2016, there was no Doomso, and some they came and solved Doomso. We suspended power outages in 2016, February. You died power outages because of lack of generation.
Load shedding.
We died load shedding, no, because we had enough generation in the system. And so we stopped the load shedding. The load shedding, they are near friend of doom. What I say? And so Ombeka Institute said they came and stopped doing so. And so Ghanaians believe said they stopped doing so, but it's not true. In 2016, we stopped doing so. We had solved it. I said, I'll fix it. I fixed it. How can you solve doing so without 1 megawatt of generation addition? What
You
I
say
say?
it was a financial problem.
Has the
Money to
financial
buy
problem. 1.4,
fuel.
almost the independent power producers, $1.4 billion. They are threatening to shut down the plants. Ain't it? It's a financial problem. Has it been solved? Almost the 1.4 billion. That is the next threat to the economy. Say, I'm sure, and so I'm not. Because I had brought the mechanism to solve it. Made the energy sector levy by,
Yes.
which they criticize. Almost all mobile energy sector levy every home. Meanwhile, the energy sector levy they buy so that a bit sakano down. Meanwhile, almost use energy sector levy for other things. It be pensions. It be other things other than what it was meant for. What you say?
Yeah.
You must learn to interrogate this government because almost a way of just whitewashing everything and making it look.
So you reject the claim about lack of credibility on your part to deliver on the promises you've
Or
made?
no or more lack of credibility. $1 million per constituency, a flagship announcement. He's not delivered on it. Okay. And who has more credibility? I said I'll build 200 schools. I commissioned 43 of them before I left office. By the time we were leaving, about 70-something were almost ready. Okay. What do I say? And so we have delivered hospitals. We promised, improve healthcare. By the time I left office, we had, implemented several hospitals. Abandoned a lot of the hospitals. I feel who say about to, but they are hurrying up to try and finish, those hospitals. We promised better roads for the cocoa growing areas. We implemented it. The Cocoa Roads Rehabilitation Project by $150 million every year to improve cocoa roads. Where is the lack of credibility? They normally use free SHS, what I said. But my point was that free SHS, I was here implementing it progressively so that we do it properly. Or not say he wants to do it immediately. And this is the outcome. We have to fix all those things, make sure that we're able to eliminate double track and all those kinds of things.
We also trend the issue of mortuaries and mosques for the Zongo communities. Is it a promise? So we see mortuaries at Zongo briefly.
No, thank you very much for the opportunity. You can't mortuary and Kofofi say a free just no. I walk while you day a funu a gumuno any mortuary. What you say? Mortuary and a funeral parlor. Your baby almost see a funu asana ya diako ese. So Islamic rights now. Omo the way omo handle omo funu. What you say? Right now your private mortuaries and funeral parlors church won't change. Yes. Into yes you funu you the court church near Kobompae. Now nothing stops somebody from having a mortuary license or handle Islamic corpse. What I say? Yes. Because omo here a funu within a certain short period, within 48 hours, some person will see omo funu. What I say? If we facilitate now, ebia yanka say let me find some big zongo B
Nima.
Yanka say Nima as an example.
Yes.
Now private person a jet license now will be a funeral parlor or CSA. Islamic corpse according to Islamic rights. You were mosque next to it. You are the Nipana Koho, you Bompae Amano, you are the Na Akwesi, and they make it that within a 24 hours, 48 hours, there's a pathologist or Beba no approval say this body can be buried. Now ombo de kwa. There's nothing wrong with that. Indeed, suggestion if you omanka omo yeah, be manifesto no ye Christians trans, ye Muslims trans, ye afita for nurse for what will be a and almost say they have a problem. Say Muslim war, the way I almost handle body no almost pay. Back on my example, accident BC here, almost call mortuary, state mortuary. Na Emma and Tomano Efino so ne nufuguho, Bema ne hodaho near there, and they are just dumped them in some place. And obviously they don't like that. They like some dignity with their corpses after. And they have the rituals, how they wash them and all that kind of thing. Of course, Saudi Arabia, who can say, Obia, ye cry, Obia, Ufia, and Sani, Dinakosi. they have places where the people are, what I say, and they use Islamic rights to do whatever they
want to do.
It's almost kind of say, okay, we will facilitate it. So, private people, every person, we'll give them the license to do it. And apart from that, maybe I was state hospitals, mortuaries, no. We will try and incorporate in this thing how they should assist them. Send bodies non-tem. And then aside from that, a place where they can do their Muslim rituals and things as an accommodation.
Oh, okay.
And the suggestion if you want buy. And so Obia Muslim, vice president. I say one zongo, one mortuary. Adani Asresem Amano. But he doesn't know that in Islamic rights, these things are very important for them. We should give them what they want.
Okay. Your Excellency, you better watch a camera name na Onegana for Akasa in a minute or two. But before that, former First Lady, what is saying?
Oh, until Odina, no way. Oh, my henny, mommy.
But you on the campaign with you, why?
Well, now she was there when we launched the manifesto and other things, and then she's giving me the appropriate support from the back. But part of it is a lot of things were said about her that were not true. A lot of lies. She was a bit traumatized by the experience. So, Opeso will take a slightly back role, what I say, and then let me do my politics. Now, the encouragement in the background or the money at the day, so that we won't go through that kind of experience again. Yeah, that's right. She'll play a more back role. So we have a female vice president. It is our female issues, no. At least we have somebody on the table who will be taking care of those issues, so that women's issues and things, and first lady, Juma Biom near the day. Or on the foundation, she continues doing that. Or orphanages and witches camp, Gambaka witches camp, adopted her, she will continue doing those things. But the main issues of women's empowerment near the day. Yabewa vice president who will be championing it. We'll have a minister of gender who will be championing it. And it will be taking slightly a back role. So that.
Your Excellency, camera, this one. Your Excellency, but camera, and in a minute or two, talk to the Ghanaian people. Why vote for John Dramani Mahama?
Well, Nedika, I met Mwase for this interview. Na Mada Mwete phone na Ase. Say interview ya Mami Kwan say mecheche enyoma bebre emu. Na megidi say NDC amanyokwa yekuta Ghana da. Enkrofo ehu ejuma ye abra ye wo aban mu. Na nyame Emma ye kotra se kakra ehwe ye dwumadi a ye samre no senya mekan no enoma ni bi wo ho a ye ni yie pa ebi nso wo ho a anka e wo se ye de modern ball kakra eka ho enti yesua san nyina no me feel say NDC aban a will be a much better government than any of the previous ones. Wo hwe your manifesto mpochire abra ye de your manifesto todwa. And one will become one. Everybody is talking about it. Me kaimpo near war MPP manifesto number. Anyway, mami ko. Enti aka be bosom ene kakra na yato aba. Sa abatu aye betui. Ye dachi abato ne betui. Ye nkwada dachi abato. Ye nananom dachi abato. Enti e wo se ye de adwen ene akomapa na yehwe neto yaba na me ogidi se NDC aban eba bioma ye besiesie nyoma se na be ya Ghana economy no betumpon Ghana nkasa ebetumpon so ohwe big pusher ye de ba I mean ohwe 21st century na ene ekwan a efri Kumase eko Accra eko Kumase still there be accident single carriageway. Nti aka say about we dualize it. Ekwan ya Cape Coast we dualize it. Ekwan call Aflao ya be no dual carriageway. Say na be ya enkrofon hwere omon from these accidents. Technical vocational training, jobs and all that. Nyoma me dream say senyame adoma ya be ye. Empunto de obi enim say NDC aye mpunto bebre. nso botae si eni so afi ene sɛ yɛbɛtumi aboa ama edwuma aba na nkrɔfo etimi yɛma etimi enye edwuma ayɛ na economy no nso akɔ n'anim nti medam ase na nyame mbɔ obiara ho ban nyame ka obiara ho na ɔma yɛ ahoɔden na ɔmfa yankodu sada no 7 December 2020 a yɛbɛto yɛaba nyame nhyira mo.
Yeah, that's it. Yes, that's His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, leader of the NDC, former president of the Republic, and also NDC Flagbearer going into the 2020 elections. And then come for some 2 or more hours, and I say, and then Akasa, and the Ebeda on for accepting to do this interview with us. Interview live on Ecosis and Asempa FM. Jason Sem or Adom FM and Afe Bejim or Adom TV. So, me need your say bonsu. Chief Jerry Forsen, host of Jason Sem or Adom, and on my Hene Kwabena Santi, host of Bejim or Adom TV. Eba Beboa me the interview. Me the munyana ase koswa na etie. Your Excellency, Asempa. Your best goodbye.
Good.
Asempa FM 94.7. All talk, all day.